Hi, I'm Dr. Mel, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Mel's Message. I am so excited today to bring you this fabulous author. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of warning. Have you ever heard what a kindred spirit is and maybe a kindred soul? Well, I found this one to be, I think, my soul sister and kindred spirit. We share so much in common, and I just love her dearly. So this may be a little bit laid back than normal because I consider her a friend, not just an author. All right. Now, with that said, the author I'm going to introduce you to is Chetoca Barfield. Now, on social media, you probably know her as Chetoca B. So, with further ado, I want to introduce you and her wonderful book, which is called Welcome to Miss Kelly's Sunday School Class. So, welcome, Chetoca. How are you, my dear?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Miss Melissa.
Oh, honey, I'm so excited. It says a lot when I work with somebody from the beginning to the end, and in marketing, and then you just develop this camaraderie and friendship.
Absolutely.
It's just a beautiful thing. And had I not met you through all of this process of publishing and everything we've gone through, and I would have met you somewhere else, we would have become best friends.
Right. I believe that too.
It's just, and I just love that, and I think people are going to notice that by the way we talk, to each other. And they're going to go, Mel, this interview, you were just so laid back and, whatever. And I said, well, because I was interviewing a friend.
Absolutely. I think from the moment we met, we just kind of hit it off. It was just like, okay, this feels like so familiar. Like she's been in my girlfriend group forever.
Exactly. That's the way I feel about it. So just real briefly, let's tell them who you are, what you do with social media, and then we're going to bring in and talk about your book for a little bit.
Okay, great. So as you stated, my name is Chetoca Barfield. I'm known on my social media accounts as Chetoca B. During the pandemic, right, I think we all can agree that life just kind of hit us hard. We were stuck in the house, and through that, we saw the world go through a plethora of issues, from social injustice to social isolation to doubting their faith and to figuring out, well, what's the next move? And I think prior to the pandemic, right, as human beings, life just brings us a lot of obstacles and we deal with it the best way we can. But when the pandemic hit, it felt like everyone's obstacles were magnified and we could relate to each other, but trying to find a resolve in the midst of a pandemic was difficult. And so that led to the birth of my baby, and it's called Treasured Possession. It is a mentoring community that I built to encourage believers in the body of Christ to keep going, to understand how to apply biblical principles and truth to their everyday lives, and to understand that it's not about a religion. It really is about a relationship. And so it's just, believers one to another connecting with each other with this foundation as Jesus Christ as our core and helping to navigate the thing that we call life together.
Right. So real quick, give them where they can actually find you on social media.
Sure. So on Instagram, my username is Chetoca B. And on my website, you can go to www.treasuredpossession.org. And then on TikTok, I am known as Chetoca Barfield.
There you go. Now, you also have this fabulous book. I really want y'all to help me send this book to number one. It is simply adorable. So first of all, let's talk. Who's your inspiration? Who's Miss Kelly?
So it's actually Miss Nellie.
Oh, it is. What is my... All right. I've had COVID. I've been sick. I can't see. No.
Of course, it's all right. So Miss Nellie influenced my life. So as a kid,
she's a real person.
Yeah, she is a real person. As a kid in my parents' household, going to church was a rite of passage. If you did not go to church on Sundays, you were not allowed to go anywhere for the rest of the day. And so that was enough for my siblings and I to get up on Sunday mornings and go to church.
And how many siblings do you have?
I have an older brother and a younger sister.
Okay.
And going to church, Sunday school was part of that. And so as a kid, right, you hear all these things about God, and, you participate in the church functions and activities because an adult told you to. But how many of us can really say we understood who God was and the role he played in our lives?
That's a good point. And you're right. It's almost like as a child, if you're constantly in church and it's a way of life, you don't really understand the impact of what he, meaning God, does for us in our lives. So you're
Correct.
absolutely correct.
So that was me. I was going to Sunday school and church and doing as I was told. And that was fun until one day I kind of came in, and my Sunday school teacher name was Miss Nellie. And I remember just a brief conversation with her about how I didn't understand who God was. And I
How old were
didn't,
you about this time?
maybe about 8 years old.
Okay, that's very young to start. Okay, cool.
Right.
Wow.
And I didn't understand, I guess you could say, what the hubbub about God was. And as a child, she made God relatable to me. She framed God up in a sense that he was a friend. So even though I couldn't see him, I could always feel him here in my heart if I tapped into my feelings enough. And anytime I was sad or happy, or no matter what I was going through in life, her constant message to me was, you can always talk to God. And as a child, 8 years old, that was powerful. It was a little bit weird talking to someone that I couldn't see, but it was powerful because through the constant communication, that taught me to be in a relationship with him. And she also taught me, instead of getting caught up in the biblical principles and the religious affiliation doctrines or the to-do list, put that aside and just focus on building a relationship with God. And all those other things will come in its proper place and in its proper time.
Now, you see, I find this really interesting. And this is something you and I have not discussed in our interactions, but my granddaughter is 7 years old. And, we were out at the pool. This is like maybe 3-4 weeks ago. And we're out outside and we're swimming. And she did something, what she termed miraculous. And she says, "Oh, God help me with that." And I go, "Well, I am so glad to hear that." She says, "I know he's here, Mumo." I said, "Well, yeah, he's always around us." She goes, "Well, have you ever seen him?" And I go, "Well, Blythe, I see him all the time." "Where is he? Where is he?" I said, "I feel him. I see him." I said, "When I look at you, I can see God. When I see the tree and that bird, I can see God and I can feel him." I said, "Have you ever felt the wind blow across you?" And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "That's God."
I am freaking out.
Why?
I am freaking out because the conversations that you have had with your grandchild here and there throughout Welcome to Miss Nellie's Sunday School class, the characters, i.e. the young children in Miss Nellie's class, experience some of the same things that your grandchild just had a conversation with you about.
Amazing. See, people, now you know.
And we have never had that conversation.
We have never had this conversation. Exactly. But now they're getting to know why I said kindred spirits here.
Right.
Soul sisters here.
Right.
That's amazing, because I had not even really got to read your book yet.
Right.
I mean, this is crazy.
Yes, exactly what you have talked about feeling God, about talking to God, about knowing God is there. These are all different types of situations that are presented to each one of the young characters that Miss Nellie helps them navigate through.
Okay, now I can see the characters, and there'll be a display right here where everyone can see them. And you have a variety of racial mixture, which I absolutely love. And are those real children? When I say real, were they inspired by your friends, or they're just something that you included?
To be honest with you, when I thought about the cover
Mm-hmm.
and how I wanted the characters portrayed,
Mm-hmm.
you got to remember, I was born in 1978. So my Miss Nellie came into my life in the early 80s, right?
Okay.
And wanting to mirror that setup from my memory, I wanted to introduce a modern day Miss Nellie and Miss Nellie students.
There you
And
go.
so the diversity in characters from ethnicity to social economic status is what brought about the multi ethnicity group that you
Right.
see displayed on the cover.
Because I just love that, and it was just really, just brilliant. And their expressions on their face, your illustrations are just absolutely adorable.
Thank
Every
you.
expression is like, whoa, whoa, and you can tell it's almost like you look at them and they're so curious. They're
Right.
hunger.
Yes.
And it's like, we got to know more.
Right.
We got to know more, Miss Nellie. We got to know more.
Right.
So when a cover can do that, praise. I mean, you've often said picture speaks 1,000 words. In this
Right.
case, your cover really does.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
it comes
you.
across as accepting
Right.
of everyone.
And I think when you instill this type of foundation in a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
With all the craziness that's currently going on in the world, the Bible talks about training up a child in the way that they should go. So when they get older, they will not depart from it.
Right.
When you lay a strong foundation, even as that child grows and matures, and it seems like they're veering off to the wrong path, they will always remember the foundational things that were instilled in them. And eventually they will go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that foundation will carry them for the remainder of their lives. I think that is so critical to a child's development, because we see in the body of Christ and outside the body of Christ, nowadays you have everyone questioning, well, what's this and what's that? And is this faith right? Or is this walk right? And it's like, as adults, right, we're struggling with that. But what if we just set aside that notion?
And that's why you say this is not religion.
Right. Don't push a religion.
Relationship.
Right. Don't push that. Just start a conversation and see where it leads you.
So will this book cross that threshold where it doesn't matter if you're Catholic, Baptist, Methodist, Jew, whatever religion?
By not calling it out so much, but yes. So I won't say we call out the different religious affiliations, but you can kind of guess or imagine the type of, religious affiliation that each character is associated with.
There you go. But they're all different.
Yes.
And I'm hoping, I almost think this is a stupid question, but I've got to ask. I bet you there's no prejudice in there. They're all accepting of each other.
They're all accepting of each other. Yes.
That's beautiful.
That's the goal.
And they're different.
That's the goal.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Be okay. And actually, it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
To be okay with being different, because God made us all different.
All different. All
different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is okay to be different. It's okay to be the weird one. It's okay to be the classy one. It's okay to be the bougie one. It's okay to be the friendly one. It's okay to be the odd one out. It is okay, because under his guidance, we are all the same. We are all accepting. So if we can just start with that frame of mind, right? Look at how much better the world would be. Look at how, even as adults, we could view the world from a different lens when bringing that in perspective, when allowing that to lead us.
Right. I know. I think that's beautiful. And it's so needed today. And you were so right. Kids, number one, they want to be accepted, but they want to be unique and individual.
Absolutely. And in a society that tells you how to look and behave and
conform,
it can be overwhelming to a kid, to the point that they just throw their hands up and are like, I can't win. I mean, you have many adults like that today that feels like, you know what? I feel like I can't be myself because I'm constantly judged. I'm constantly not accepted. And it's like, lay all that aside. Forget all of that. Be who God created you to be, and trust me, through your relationship with him, everything else will take its rightful place. Everything else for you and him will take its rightful place. There's no need for you to worry about it. There's no need for you to stress about it. There's no need for you to figure it out. We weren't created to figure it out. We were created to be in relationship with our Creator and with one another. Everything else will work out in the end. It always does.
That is such a beautiful, literally a beautiful concept. And not only through what you're doing with your social media, your website, and now bringing in this book, I can honestly tell my viewers that you walk the walk that you talk.
I absolutely try my best. Look, I'm the first to say I'm not perfect, but I think that's the beauty in it.
Yes.
Not being perfect and not striving to be perfect, just being the best that you can be, whatever that looks like for you.
Right. Because I only know one human being that was ever perfect, and that would be Jesus Christ.
That's right.
That's right. And that's a hard one to live up to.
Absolutely.
Like, wait a minute, and I think when children or even as adults realize that, yes, your mistakes and the decisions that you make, no matter what you're doing, does make who you are. But doesn't mean a mistake has to define you.
Right.
And keep you bolted down.
That's right. That's what it is. A mistake. It happened. Move on. Right. Move on. Stop dwelling in it. Do you think somebody else is worried about your mistake? No, you are the one that's obsessing over it. Quit it.
There you go.
Just move on. Accept that it happened. Understand that there's some things that you can't change, and it is okay. And when you put a different lens on it, learn from it. Learn from it.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it the process of moving forward that much easier. Every step that we take is not going to always be the right step. We try our best not to make a mistake, but it's going to happen at some point, and it is all right. Just continue to move forward. Don't give up on yourself. You need to show up in the world for yourself. You need to show up.
And that's going for children and adults right now.
That's right.
I mean, that's all right.
Yeah. That's all of us.
Yeah. And, I'm going to jump back for just a minute, what you said about the pandemic. It was I never once in my lifetime at 60, I'm 64 years old, in my lifetime thought I'd ever lived through a pandemic. Mm-hmm. Most of what I call the younger generation, since I'm 64, I consider myself a senior citizen, but I was the part of the generations that got the polio vaccines.
Right.
And I had friends that have polio, and I still have a friend that's alive today. He's 73 years old, and he's been in a aqua lung for 64 years because he got polio. Yeah. Now, I bring this all in because if you're confined to an aqua lung, and I don't know if people even know what an aqua lung is, but it's about 8 foot long, and it looks like a tube, and he has to literally stay in it to breathe.
Right.
Okay. And he's totally paralyzed from the neck down. He learned how to type. He got his lawyer's degree. He learned, this is before computers. He learned how to type and write using an instrument in his mouth. That's
amazing.
And so can you imagine him, if that would have defined him? That's, to me, is one of the best examples that things are going to happen.
Exactly.
But he still is, God had a plan for him.
And I think that's right. You say something so important. I think that's what is missing. I think we allow at times our circumstance to dictate what our future should look like.
Yes.
We allow our past mistakes to stop us from going forward.
Yes.
And we don't understand that our Creator uses what was meant for your bad for your good. Like
Exactly.
until you can actually embed that in your brain and in your heart, you will always find yourself at different points of your life getting stuck in situations that you wish wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
Newsflash, it happens to all of us.
All of us. Yeah. Every one of us. But it's what you incorporate not only in your mindset, but your actions and your attitude.
Absolutely.
Where you go from there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then I'm going to bring it right back almost, to this topic. And I don't think anybody, and I know this sounds crazy, and I may get a lot of hate mail or whatever, but I even believe, this is my belief, that even the people that don't quote believe in God or don't pray, they really do, and they really believe, and they just don't know it or accept it.
That's right. The Bible tells us that we can do nothing apart from him. So
Exactly.
whether you are a believer or not, you moving and being in this earth, we literally can't do it without him.
That's right. And that's still his plan.
That's right. That is part of his plan. Even your unbelief, even my doubt as a believer is still part of his plan. Yeah. It's still working for the greater good. It's still working out on your behalf. Right. You, me, children, everyone have to find a way to tap into that. Mm-hmm. And it is hard to do, especially if you weren't groomed in the right foundation to tap into that later on in life.
Right.
It is a lot easier if you have a strong foundation to be able to lean on that throughout your life. I think, a lot of adults now are tapping into, so maybe it isn't about this long to-do list, to make it into heaven or to please God. Maybe it really is just kind of sitting back and having a conversation with him and saying, look here, God, my name is Chetoca. I'm not quite sure what you want from me, but I'm here and let's just see where it goes. Mm-hmm. I think you're finding more people, little bit by little bit, taking that approach and literally seeing where he takes them, the journey that they go on. It's not an easy journey. It's just not. It's not an easy journey. If you're thinking that you're about to enter this relationship with him and it's going to be perfect, it's not.
No.
It is full of bumps and bruises, but there are some beautiful, beautiful moments if you just stay the course. And I think that's what Miss Nellie tries to teach her students at a young age. Just stay the course. Just stay close to him. Just continuously talk with him. And as you're living your life, he's there to guide you. Don't worry about the hows and the whys and the whens.
There you go.
He's already taking care of that. So your tomorrow, he's already there. He's waiting for you to get there.
Right. That is so beautiful. I just want to thank you so much for coming on and spending this time with me and sharing what I call your beautiful soul with me and your heart and with all of my viewers. I know they're going to love you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Me neither. Thank you.
I can't wait. And so again, I'm encouraging all of y'all. Okay, I'm speaking directly to my viewers right now. Please help me send this book to number one. I think it's not only needed, but it's really cute. Let me tell you. And what can I say about the author other than I love her? Okay, what can I say? And I don't think y'all have ever heard me say that over the last 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this. So my followers will know that they're going to go, whoa, maybe we do need to go see what this website's about. And maybe we do really need to get a hold of Miss Nellie, here, wait a minute, because y'all have never heard me say that. So thank you to you viewers in advance tomorrow morning. Go get this book for every kid you know, nieces, nephews, your own kids. You know what else? Buy a set for a classroom. Buy a set and go put something and donate it to the public library, because it's not going to break your bank, but you know what it might do? Change a child's life.